meteorologist Chase Jones.
Well, a steady amount of high clouds making its way in over the Concho Valley. Now, the word of the week is going to be instability as we watch a lot of this cloud cover make its way in from the south, and that'll eventually lead to us being up into the 70s, but that wind is going to increase, so it's going to be calm for now while we track the next wave of cold weather. Take a good look at the temperatures over the last 24 hours, all the way down into those mid-20s. Then we warmed up about 20, if not 30 or so degrees into those 50s, and we're holding strong right now in those mid-50s before we drop right back down into those freezing levels. Now, the heat is trying to creep in, letting us know spring is getting ever closer, but we're still holding on to those freezing temperatures, so winter's not going to give up without a fight. 57 in San Angelo. Everybody else joining us in those mid-50s across the entire region, keeping our eye out for the shades of blue up towards the north. 55 in Sterling City, finally pushing up into those 50s, while down to the south, still holding on to those 50s at 57. So 2 degrees across the entire Concho Valley, unless you want to count Menard all the way here to Junction, but you get a good idea of where those low spots are across the entire region and where some of those high spots are as well. Dew points are going to be a better representation while you see them down there in those 20s and those 30s. A couple other below freezing spots off towards the northeast, and then again you see those humidity indices in the 30s, but we'll see how much they make their way up by tonight with some of that cloud cover still lingering around. Now, it's going to continue to build, and we're going to watch the instability move in. Now, the more instability, the bluer the shade, but we're going to see a lot of green instability make its way into the Concho Valley by the weekend, and we'll see a lot of powerful winds as a result. Now, I have my eye off the west coast, had to call in a little bit of help when we're talking about what we're looking at. The term persistence forecasting has come up. That lets us say, or it means that we will see the same thing we saw once again. Now, you heard a lot of people talking about what to expect in this wind event. We're looking at it off the west coast. What does that mean for us here in the Concho Valley? Looking like the 30s and those teens for overnight temperatures as we get closer towards the weekend. By next week, we see that cutoff low way down there in Mexico. Now, it usually doesn't go that far south. It will push into the Concho Valley and keep us cold before we warm right back up. Water vapor imagery, take a good look off the west coast. Look at that dry air circulation as it continues to move off towards the southwest. Usually these things move to the north and the east, but we're keeping our eye on this stationary boundary, and there's our instability right now in shades of pink. We take you into the severe weather outlook, day 5 of nothing, push it all the way out to 72 hours, still nothing. So pretty quiet across the entire nation while we still see a lot of this cold weather sinking in around the Dakotas, somewhere around Wyoming, Nebraska, pushing into Kansas. But again, our instability across the southern part of the state of Texas and the Gulf Coast region. Now, we continue to track this instability as we make our way into another below freezing night. We'll see that cloud cover push in by about the morning, then move out by the afternoon. Then by Thursday, it will push in again in the morning, then make its way out so you can sort of see the afternoon thunderstorm pattern that it's trying to form. By Friday, some low cloud cover will push its way in, but I think the winds will be just too high to see any rain. So tonight, right back down into those 30s. Building cloud cover, it's plants, people, pets, plants, and pipes. Then tomorrow, getting all the way up into those 60s with those variable winds. But again, another freezing night. We continue to warm up from there by Friday, again, keeping our eye on that instability as we push up into those 70s with those high winds. Then we're going to drop about 40 degrees as we make our way all the way down into those lower 30s with those overnight lows going from those 40s all the way down into those teens. Stay tuned. I'm over the break. You're watching KSAN News at 5.